Hi there. Welcome to the Mending the Heart retreat page. I want to take a couple minutes to share with you the story of how this retreat came to be. It's something that's transformed my life profoundly, and I want to share it with you. It was probably June of 2015, early June, I think, that I was sensing that my work was changing, that my work was going to go in a new direction, and I was needing some answers. And what I do when I need answers is that I write a question. I ask a question and then I sit quietly and then I start writing. So that's what I did. I sat outside looking at the lake and I asked the question, what's my work? And after a little bit, I started writing. And what I found myself writing was a series of exercises, this exercise and then that exercise and then this one. And when it was all together, all of a sudden, I realized, oh my God, this is a 3-day retreat. And I had never thought I would ever create a 3-day retreat because it wasn't something that I wanted to do. I always said that I had no desire to do a 3-day retreat, but here it was. It wasn't something I was trying to create. It was staring in front of me as a result of my question to the universe, God. There was this series of exercises that were about healing the heart, and it had to be a retreat because you have to go through all of them. So, fair enough. I came back to my office and I wrote it all up and I tucked it away. And then, wouldn't you know it, as God would have it, a couple weeks later, I was hit with the realization that I had been carrying a heart wound for over 20 years. Something deeply painful that I had never wanted to talk about. I never told anybody. I never even wrote about it because I just want to pretend that it wasn't there. Of course, I know better. And so as soon as I realized that I had been carrying this wound, the next thought was, well, I guess I need to walk myself through this retreat. If this is something I'm going to be doing, I need to see if it works. And so I did. I took myself through the whole process. Instead of doing it in 3 days, I did it over 2 weeks because I was doing it, facilitating it for myself. I didn't have anybody holding the space for me or guiding me through it. But when I came out of it at the other end, I was incredibly moved. I almost couldn't believe the depth of the shift, how profoundly transformed I felt. All of a sudden, I could look at this event and I could talk about it, and I did actually start talking about it. I told a couple people about it and told them about my journey and my process and what was happening to me. And I was just feeling profoundly grateful that all of a sudden this had come to me and that it had been so healing for me. And then a few days later, I was feeling the need to get some body work. I felt like my body had to catch up with all of the work that I had done spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. It's like my cells were still in the old story. And synchronistically, I ran into a couple of friends, and one of them mentioned Julieta Rushford, a gifted chiropractor. And I had met Julieta, I had interviewed her on my show, and instantaneously I knew that Julieta was the person to go see. So I did, and I ended up signing up to do an intensive with her, which meant that I went to see her every day for 5 days. So I got adjusted every day for 5 days. And Julieta is like no other chiropractor I've ever worked with. She's deeply intuitive, and she also works with other techniques like essential oils and affirmations, and she does energy work, and she integrates all of these wonderful tools, which were exactly what I needed. And at the end of that week, I felt even more shifted. I truly felt like I was a different woman. I still feel it, and I felt it then, that I was all of a sudden showing up in the world differently. I was different within myself, in my relationships. My work was different. How I did my work was different. Everything had changed. And what's so massive about our heart wounds is that when we're carrying these deep hurts, we're also carrying a protective shield, like a barrier. And that barrier keeps us from fully taking in everything that we can receive, love wise, but then it also keeps us from fully being ourselves. And so the change of all of it together was profound for me. And then a couple months later, Julieta said to me, I see us doing a workshop together. I can see us working together. And I said to her, oh my God, Julieta, you have no idea. I have this retreat and I would love to tell you about it. And so we got together and I did. And instantaneously, we knew that we were going to do this together, that we were going to integrate everything that I had done over the course of a few weeks. We were going to do it in this retreat, and that the chiropractic fit in beautifully, that the essential oils were an integral part of what this retreat needs to be, and we've added even more things. And then we did a run of the program with a friend a couple weeks ago, and all three of us were floored by how shifted we all felt. Julieta and I are excited and feeling humbly grateful that we've connected and that this is coming together in this way, because it is incredibly powerful. I have never done anything anywhere else that has been this powerful, this quick, and in a process that feels light and doable and enjoyable and so nurturing. If there's anything, any way that I can describe this, it's profoundly nurturing. I felt through the whole process as though I was being held, and as we facilitated it the other day, it was just beautiful to see how deeply nourishing and safe it feels to go through this process. So I wanted you to hear it from me because, like I said, it's changed my life. It's changed how I show up in my life. And if you are resonating with any of this, if you are carrying some hurts, some resentment, some wounds from the past, some stories that you don't like thinking about or can't talk about, then let us be there for you. I want you to be able to experience these stories, like we say on this page, as a source of power for you, and not be a source of pain that keep you from feeling full, joyful, peaceful, and feeling whole in yourself. So if any of this is sounding like it might be perfect for you, then send us a note. We'll just chat, we'll connect, and help you see if it's right for you. And for those of you for whom the financial investment might be a little bit of a stretch, we would be delighted to offer you a payment plan so that it works for you, because we want to make this work available to anybody who needs it. So we look forward to hearing from you. And if it's the perfect time for you, we'll be delighted to be of service.